Welcome to 2026 and Freight Dispatch Training. It's me, Alex, and today we are starting our first class for January. We did a lot to prepare for this. First, we got affiliated with a new partner, 123 Load Board, so our students have a chance to have their own load board. Because I guess what? They understand that dispatchers are actually professional people who run this industry. And when some big players take it away from them, well, this is not the right decision. But looking into their articles, I really like something that they've been posting there since 2025. And this is stop chasing loads, start chasing profits. Because who wins today? Not the carriers who have more loads, but carriers who book consistently and who book profitable lanes. So remember, in Dispatch Training Center, in our live hands-on training, we're gonna go over all load boards, starting with 123 load board, DAT, truck stop. We're gonna look into it and we're gonna use their tools. We're gonna use their analytics. But the most important thing, which I am gonna give to you, this is foundation. Because reading article or looking at load board and not understanding how you can use that information, how that information helping you to make decision, it's kind of useless. That's why people sign up for my classes. That's why they still watching me on YouTube even after they start dispatching. Why? Because trucking is dynamic. Things changing all the time. And as any professional, you need to stay up to highlights, news, new technology, and new market changes. And next class gonna be in March. If you're already thinking about it, don't hesitate. Time goes so fast. Look at this. We started 2026. It's already almost end of January. So register. Also, reminder, for people who've been wanting to learn how to service trucking industry through IFTA calculations, through safety and compliance, helping them to hire drivers, helping them to stay afloat on safety side, learning how to pass audits, learning how to maintain all the files, let's say truck files, trailer files, driver qualification files, the biggest problem for the small carriers. Remember, we are starting next Sunday. So use the code PROSAFETY2026 and save $100. Why I'm doing that? Because I want to make sure that you add that extra knowledge. For my previous students, while they're receiving even bigger discount because they already invested in me, they invested in education. So they have the code, they received it by mail. Also, you can email me because you're receiving $300 off of that safety class. But for now, I need to let my new students in, and I'm going to share why they are choosing us, why are they looking to become a freight dispatcher, and where are they coming from? Why this is still somebody's dream. Why they know that trucking will never go anywhere. Who are you? Wow, look at this. I have all the mail in this class. Huh?
Alexandra, good morning.
Good morning. Wow, really? Where's the girls? I guess, look, I did not pay attention. We have only two girls, and where are they? They're late. Look at this. Women always late. That's why we need to make sure they know that we start together. Question was, where are you from? Which state? What do you want to do? Why did you choose me? And the big dream. And dream, like, what do you want to do in trucking? Not about I want to become a millionaire, I want to retire in Hawaii, right? So something, why did you choose this class? So let's listen to you.
So I'm in the state of Texas, as you could tell probably by the accent. But I'm already in transportation. I started as an LTL driver since early 1900s, 1996. But I've been in LTLs, became an LTL P&D, pickup and delivery dispatcher in 2012. Worked there for a couple of years, and I met a broker whose shipments I was picking up. So I became an LTL operations manager for a brokerage company. But I did about a week learning truckload, but I want to learn truckload. And I guess with the ultimate, I know the person I'm contracted to now on LTL, she's taught me so much. Watching you on TikTok and listening to you explain all the lives and talking to people, you know your stuff. And I could tell from being in the business, you know your stuff. And so I wanted to get on, learn that truckload at an easier pace than live, learn some of the information first and foremost. And then at the end, use that to better myself or see if where things transpire in the future, as in becoming a broker and so on.
Okay, well, sounds good. So, do you see, even if you are part of trucking, you can know, for example, LTL. We're gonna know what is LTL as a truckload. You might be managing safety. You might be a professional truck driver. But when we come to this side, it's a lot to learn. And that's why people who understand this, they want to make sure that they kind of cover that full circle so they can move on. Because a lot of times people say, well, I've been driving, I've been working in brokerage, I can just start dispatching. And then they're like, wow, I did not know I have to do this, this, and this. Because again, this is the same industry, but different part of it. So this is a
Right.
very smart decision. And you can see because why? Because he takes it seriously as a profession. And that's what we're trying to change, right? Because when you talk about dispatcher, somehow there is a big misrepresentation of our role as a dispatchers, but we do a lot. If you are a good dispatcher, you're gonna help carrier to survive, especially in this market. If you pretend to be dispatcher, that's what the reputation starts. And why? Because people simply don't know the foundation. They don't know how that works, right? So that's why, yes, we're gonna go and we're gonna learn load boards. We're gonna have a lot of homework, guys. Some of you gonna, I don't know if you ever took any classes, you're gonna say, oh my God, I've never had to do this much. But don't stress out because it's in your own pace and we're gonna kind of go over that information. So thank you, Kevin, for choosing us, especially for you, Texican man with a strong, that freedom
Okay.
will, choosing me,
Yeah.
Ukrainian direct woman. Wow, this is a big compliment.
But you know your stuff, and it's about learning. I thought I knew something as a driver, being at an LTL carrier, but as a broker, you find out about classes and claims, and even LTL is a different animal than truckload, so to speak, animal, but two different things. So I know I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you. Plus, again, I am not just a teacher. I had a company for 5 years with 49 reefers. I'm also insurance agent. So I am teaching you from all different things, and I was gonna give you little highlights, like as an insurance agent, as for example, person who owned the trucks. So that's why it's not just about, oh, let's click on a load board and let's post the truck. So we're gonna learn this as an industry. Well, hopefully everybody's figure out the Zoom because this is the first thing you need to figure out in in any business right now. And let's move on to Marcus. Marcus, why dispatch?
So a little of my background. I used to be a truck driver for around 5 years and so. And then I love it. I love the industry, the freight industry. I love the fact that we move freight all around the country. And as overall, I like that industry, moving the goods, all around. I think it's fascinating. I just love that. And then, but so as along the way on my years as a truck driver, I mean, I discovered that it consumes a lot of my personal life. So at some point, I'm just want to step out of there. And then since I like a lot the industry, I just, I see the dispatching option as a good option to stay in the industry. And then, so just keep working here, but now from the comfort of home if you want to, and then be able to enjoy more personal life. So yeah, and then I find you, I was, doing my research in the internet, and then I find you, and I was like, oh my gosh, she looks incredible. Yeah, I'm going with her. I saw some of your videos, and in the way how you teach it, I was just, I was amazed. So, oh my God, I want her to be my mentor,
Sounds
definitely.
good.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna make sure that you now gonna become a dispatcher because being driver it's gonna help you a lot as well with hours of service, with how to deal with shippers, receivers. You might give us insights, right? Because we guys gonna put the list. Now Kevin's gonna be a broker. He needs to know who not to take freight from, right? Let's say Target or Dollar General. Why? Because doesn't matter how much they promise you, you're always gonna have headache with drivers because they are not organized and they overload their facility. So it's always 4 6 hours loading, unloading. And then when your carrier gets pissed, when your driver gets pissed next time, you call the dispatcher and they're gonna say, sorry, Kevin, but no, we're not gonna deal with that. And that's why you see, guys, when you're gonna be talking to TQL and you're gonna ask, well, who is the shipper? Who is the receiver? And they're like, oh, we have a rule. We cannot tell you. Well, listen, we're not in circus here. We're doing business. If you cannot tell me who is a shipper and a receiver, I'm not going to give you my truck because I'm a professional dispatcher. So that's what I'm going to teach you. Stick to your side because you representing carrier. I am not gonna steal. I am not gonna steal the shipper from you in 5 minutes over the conversation. But why I'm asking? Because I need to kind of understand how long is it gonna take me to unload so I don't pre-book the load which I had to cancel, right? It's not about how did you got DATQL the general, let's say Target. I don't care about it. I just want to know what I have to do for my driver so I don't have to cancel the next load. And that's why I always fight with them. And that's why, I mean, it's a not fight, but you have to make sure you stick to this because this is a part of your job. Go ahead. So tell me where you from, why dispatch?
I'm in Delaware right now, actually. And the reason why I want to do dispatch is like to have the freedom to work from home. I am very interested in the transportation industry in general, and I have been watching several of your YouTube videos, which part of the reason why I chose you was the straightforward teaching style that you have. You have a lot of respect for your time. You don't take any nonsense from the brokers with pricing or wasting your time either. And time is precious, especially in this industry, trying to get things booked. Timing is everything. So the more time that you have available for yourself to kind of work on these deals is very important. So that is the reason why I chose you. One of the reasons.
And what is a big dream after the class?
After the class, I want to be a pro safety manager. That's what the end goal is supposed to be. You're trying to elevate the whole industry with all the people that you're teaching. So if one person at a time is making it a little bit better, then everyone will get paid a little bit more, at least on our end.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, look at this. If you've been watching me, what I always say, well, this learning how to dispatch, it's great, it's beginning, but adding IFTA, permits, safety and compliance, it's a must. That's why we even sell as a bundle. And you will actually, some of you who did not know about this will have a chance because it's starting next Sunday. We give you very deep discount because I want to make sure you can do it together because safety, you would say, wow, but I'm going to be dispatching. But remember, most of you, who you're going to be dispatching? You're going to be dispatching owners who have 1, 2, 3 trucks. Do you think they can afford to have another person who is going to run their safety? No. And that's when you, first, you're going to make more money. But second, you're going to help them to stay active because a lot of them, they pay somebody to open MC. They pay somebody to pay IFTA. And then they drive and somehow, let's say they forgot to update MCS 150. You as a dispatcher that morning call and you say, well, can I book the load? And let's say RXO telling you, hello, Ashley, we cannot give you load. You're like, what do you mean? I just booked load last week. Well, you are inactive on FMCSA. You call your driver and he's like, what do you mean? What happened? Because the poor guy, he's driving because most of them, they are still on the road and they did not even know that there is ongoing safety things that you guys have to do. Then they need to pass their audit. Audit comes, and let's say Mr. Kevin is the owner of the company and he's driving, and safety audit asks, where's your driver qualification files? And he's like, why? It's my company. I'm a driver. I don't need to have it. And here you go. No, you need to have everything, application, clearinghouse. You need to have annual inspections. And this is staying with company even for 3 years after the company closed. For IRP audits, 6 years after company close. For IFTA, 4.5 years. So do we understand why a lot of people losing their SMC? Because they simply don't know that this is still every day something needs to be watched or done. So that's why I am pushing this, because this is just part of what you do every day. Let's say today we're gonna learn. Mr. Paulo calls and broker says, well, I cannot give you load because your rating is bad on your driver category. Well, which driver category? No, my driver is good. Well, today we're gonna learn what is the safer, what ratings do we have, what actually affects your score. Because without knowing this, you're gonna be like, why did they hang up on me, right? So we're gonna learn all the basics. So thank you for choosing me. And let's go to Mr. Paulo. Why dispatch? Where are you from? And what is your big dream?
Okay, thank you, Alex, for all you're doing.
Thank
I
you.
love following your video on YouTube. I'm from Vermont, originally from Benin, a tiny country in West Africa. I have data analyst background, so I love working with data platforms. Right now, I'm working from home and I have much time to focus on a second job.
Okay.
My dream in short term is to have a very successful dispatching company. And for the long term, I would like to open a truck company.
After the class, you're gonna see you want a service industry. You don't want to open trucking company. You want to provide service. That's how you're gonna be stable. You don't want to go through upside downs. Let's go to Mr. Lloyd. Mr. Lloyd, are you okay now with your connection?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Great. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Alexa. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and have this class. I can hear you, and your question was?
Why dispatch? Where are you located? And what is a big dream after this?
Dispatching, I had some previous encounter with dispatching on a very small scope. This scope is much larger than the scope that I was dispatching on. I have a lot of time at home now because I don't work anymore, and it's available for me. And so I choose this because I am very much affiliated with service of the public. So dispatching is having service for a driver, and hopefully it will increase to drivers and let it go from there. But my first goal is to learn the business of dispatching first. Once I learn dispatching to a degree that I can move on, but I do not want to move on until I get this totally secured. I am from Huntsville, Alabama, and my goal is to start with the dispatching, and from there I'll go on entrepreneuring. I don't know whether I'll entrepreneur as a dispatcher or safety. I don't know now, but my first goal is to get into the industry at this volume, then I can move on. This is not totally new, but it's new because of the volume that's here. Uh, and at that point, I'll decide to move on the direction that's more beneficial to me.
Okay, sounds good. So let me ask you this. What is the biggest commodity that is getting exported from your state for reefers?
Okay. Uh, that's a hard question because
Not really. I mean, you're in Alabama. Whatever you drive, what do you see? What do you hear?
well, we not for reefer, but I know for dry van, we do a lot of automotive. We get a lot of automotive parts because Huntsville is growing in the automotive industry.
That's good. So for dry van, guys, you can start writing down the notes, little like commodities. So not a lot of people know that in Alabama for dry van, there's a lot of auto parts. Write it down, auto parts. And here, put in red, because I'm going to give you this little hint. Most of the time on insurance, they are excluded. So as a dispatcher, you need to know, is my carrier has a coverage on his cargo insurance for auto parts? Because if you book this load and something's gonna happen, nobody's gonna pay the claim. So write it down. If I will ever listen auto parts, I will double check if this was included from the beginning. We're gonna go through steps. So good job. So auto parts for driving. What do you have for reefer though?
I don't know, Alex.
Come on. Chicken. Chicken. Alabama, Mississippi is our state, which
poultry.
grows poultry, all the poultry.
Okay.
Yes.
Poultry.
And we're gonna learn about this. So besides learning that this is a truck, this is a trailer, what are we going to concentrate on? Commodities, import, export from each state. We're going to concentrate on seasons. We're going to concentrate on type of equipment it goes to, right? So because that's what makes you a good dispatcher. When you know, for example, well, right now, should I go to Washington State? No, right now you don't want to go there if you are a reefer. Why? Because apples are done. Cherries are not there yet. Do I want to go to, let's say, Nogales, Arizona with reefer? Well, not. That part of Mexico is not producing right now, so there is no crossing borders. Well, should I go right now, let's say, to Indianapolis with a flatbed? Well, you could, but this is a winter in Midwest. So all the flatbed step decks went down, and you need to know that to prepare. That's why most of the big companies, if they have flatbed step deck, what do they have? They have overcapacity of trailers. They have extra dry vans, so that when December comes, instead of losing drivers, what do they do, Mr. Kevin? They're going to say, well, for the next 3 months, we're going to be hauling dry van because we still want you to keep going with our company, right? And that's why some companies survive, because they bought dry vans sitting there, or they leasing them for 3 months, so they keep rotation of the drivers. So all of these things I'm going to give you here and there so you understand how it works. Well, welcome to the class. And we have our young lady, but I guess she has a hard time with connecting, so we're not going to see her, but she should be listening to us right now. And her name is John Tell, and we are missing one gentleman. I believe that he's probably on the road. I'm going to call him on a break. But let's start. Welcome to the class. When I share the screen, Marcus, you're going to be in charge because I have a lot of things open. When I'm talking about something and you don't see it on the screen, just stop me and say, Alex, we don't see it, right?
Okay.
If I'm going to go too fast, guys, kind of tell Alex, can you slow down? Because remember, I love this. I can talk about this 24/7. I don't get tired because I really love teaching. but sometimes I can go too fast,
You're
right?
very passionate. That's what one of the things I love about you. Yeah, I have
Okay,
seen your
next
videos.
thing, Marcus, we're not interrupting the teacher, especially when she's in the middle of finishing sentence. Why?
Sorry.
Because other people listening, and we love your energy, right? We love that, but we want to make sure I finish the sentence, and let's keep the questions to today's topic. So today's topic is going to be how trucking starts, FMCSA rating for the carriers, how to find it, what can you see right away, public knowledge, and set up with the brokers. So today we're gonna know how the paperwork get exchanged between you as a dispatcher and your brokers because you are representing. But before I start that, let's think about what is the dispatcher's duty?